Recording in progress.
Great, thank you. Okay, so hey, everyone. I'm going to call to order the Town of Ulysses Comp Plan Steering Committee meeting for December 4th, 2024. Our first order of business is roll call.
Carl Nikowski, planning board chair, Mo, planning board.
Nels Tigas, Town Planner.
Roxanne Marino, Conservation Sustainability Advisory Council.
Liz Weatherby, Town Board.
Allison Weaver, Comprehensive Planning Steering Committee.
Diane Cohen, committee member.
And Ann DePetta. I'm a committee member. I'm also a resident. And Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin Olson, Town Supervisor.
Great, thank you. So for today's agenda, I guess just to read the agenda. So we have the approval of our agenda and then approval of past minutes, then privilege of the floor, which is 3 minutes per person. Then we have old business items, which is the results of the focus group number 2. Environment and natural resources and climate change and resiliency. Then we have a couple of new business items under number 6, priorities discussion. That's the SWOT analysis for environment and natural resources and climate change and resiliency. And then the community survey is B, 6B. And then 7 will be next steps, which is joint visioning, reviewing the draft and priorities discussion. And then we'll have member reports at the end. So do we have any discussion on the agenda or changes?
I don't think that's it.
Okay, so
I'll make a motion to.
great, thanks.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then the next item is the approval of our past minutes. So just wondering if everybody had a chance to review the minutes. Everybody got that? Okay. Does anyone have anything to discuss related to the minutes?
I just have.
Sure, go ahead,
Sorry.
Roxanne.
I just have a couple very small things. The first one is under the old business items, results of local leadership interviews. I don't know that I said this with regard to leadership interviews, but it says Marino emphasized large scale economic development may not be well suited. I emphasized that was raised as a point at the focus group discussion. So I guess I'd like it added that emphasized from focus group discussion 1 that large scale economic development wasn't just my thought, it was
Right.
something that I thought came out of that
Mhm.
was very valid to raise when we were asking. And then the only other one was just to add I guess under next steps that the committee agreed that it was going to be useful and valuable to do a community survey, because that isn't in here at all. So
Where was that?
I guess it would be next. It was quite towards the end. Of the
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah.
It was. Good catch.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. Anything else related to minutes? No. All right, then we just need a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Approve the minutes with changes. Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
I
I'm gonna abstain.
I
And then, so we have 1 abstaining, Caitlin? Is that an aye?
Think so.
it's on.
I'm voting for it. I'm voting for it, yeah.
Okay.
I
Or
heard-
she's for it.
Okay, I heard a yeah, so.
That's all I heard.
Okay.
Diane.
Diane abstained, any opposed? Okay. Okey dokey. Next item, privilege of the floor. So this is the portion of our committee meeting where members of the public can make general comments on items that are not related to items that are on our agenda tonight. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes in length. Is there anyone here that wanted to address anything that is not already on our agenda? Anyone on the Zoom?
Yes,
Oh, hi, Chris. Did you have something you did you want to have privilege of the floor for 3 minutes?
yes, please.
Okay, I think go ahead.
I wanted to address hydrology. Our community does not have any scientific information about hydrology and how it is changing. Now, go ahead and stop me if I don't follow the rules adequately enough. I know you do have the words climate change there. But I'm speaking about climate change in particular as regards hydrology and danger of flooding and the need for flood mitigation. I think there is a real opportunity for people to see visually how very much changed the hydrology is in my neighborhood by making the effort to drive down Du Bois Road. I know people from Trumansburg often don't quite understand how much of Du Bois Road is in the township. But over the time I've lived here since 1979, the hydrology and the way in which water flows from the uplands toward the lake has changed markedly. It's something all the farmers also are aware of, but for whatever reason, we aren't getting input from that part of the community either. But visually, you can drive along Perry City Road and along Du Bois Road and see hundreds of acres being massively drained because of the additional moisture and runoff problems that are endemic in the community and should be being considered in making planning decisions. I'm going to be also bringing forward a proposal to the town board to actually invest in a hydrology study. I understand that people don't want a lot of input about conditions from the public at large, and I must be getting close to my limit.
Yeah.
But
30 seconds.
I would urge you, since you only trust yourselves, to go look for yourselves.
I appreciate you being timely and keeping track of that, and thanks for that input. I know we have lots of people taking notes here in the room, so I appreciate that. Any questions, comments, anything more on that? Okay, thank you, Chris. Anyone else want to take advantage of privilege of the floor? Okay, if not, I guess we have to have a motion to close privilege of the floor.
I'll do that. I'll second it. Diane.
Diane will second that. Great. All in favor? Aye. I to any opposed, abstaining, okay. Okie dokie. Thank you for that. So old business, we're on number 5 here, results of the focus group. This is going to be Angelina.
Hi
Thank
there,
you,
everyone.
Angelina.
Good to see everybody. So we had our focus group meeting November 15th. So we had it right at the Trumansburg Fire Hall again. That seemed to be a really good venue for us to have everybody come there. Lunchtime seems to be a good time for folks to come in and be able to weigh in. I know a few folks here were there. We had also folks from Tompkins County, Cornell University, Cornell Cooperative Extension, Conservation and Sustainability Advisory Council. So it was a really nice mixture of folks that came. We did similar exercises to what we're going to do here tonight. So it was the same type of time frame of really looking at what strengths do we have? What are assets that we currently have? What are things that we want to protect? What are some weaknesses? What are some vulnerabilities? What are some challenges that we're seeing? And then what are some opportunities? And I think we had a really good discussion about all of that. I have a memo, I'm sure it'll get circulated to you all, but I have a memo and basically all of the SWOT analysis and what the comments were, for each post-it note, are cataloged here, so you'll have them all. I think some major takeaways, I think overall, I think it was a really cool experience just to have everyone there. I think a lot of people kind of know each other, their roles and what they do. But I think learning a little bit deeper about each other's organization, I think it was a really good networking opportunity as well. I think education was something that came up that was really important. Getting more involved with the youth and with schools, to talk about best practices, sustainability, things of that nature, climate change, but then also with the public as well, having some more education there as well, and then just among sectors, communicating more, that was something that was really big. We also talked about increasing connectivity among natural resources, engaging in community planning efforts, looking for funding for community planning efforts and best management practices, continued support of conservation organizations and regional programs, addressing stormwater runoff, preserving natural areas and promoting natural assets. Does anyone, I know we have a few folks here that were at the focus group. Did you have anything else? Any other major takeaways?
I think the education was not only for the general public, but we were trying to bring in some, see what opportunities we had with the schools, especially like the younger group. Now that climate change has really become a reality. Sorry, it is. But and making sure we brought them, see what we could do to bring some educational forums or opportunities, information sessions to the schools.
Definitely.
It was brought up, the town, the New York State has an open space plan, and it would be good for the town to have an open space plan at some point. Yeah, trying to find dedicated funding sources to protect land and respond to threats, being able to be proactive, exploring partnerships, like you said, with the land trust and state parks and other things like that. People talk a lot about that.
And I think another thing that came up too was like regulation of deregulation and kind of, what does that look like, at state and national level. I think that was
Right,
something else. that came up.
And yeah, under threats were just water from runoff, from land, climate changes, nutrient pollution, harmful elements, and then further energy independence and looking at non-fossil fuel energy and central charging for EVs and partnering with trying to partner with businesses and things, wineries, bringing agriculture folks into the discussion.
Community composting came up. There is community
Right, yeah.
composting, but getting more
And
awareness.
food waste as
More
a
involved.
resiliency issue, I think Marvin Fritz brought that up.
Mhm.
And also wells and impacts drinking water with climate change. You mentioned that the town is working on a plan for that, so. Anyway, that's what I had.
Can I just ask how many people were there?
We had about 10 folks.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good group of people.
Anything else?
No, that is it. So like I said, I have this all cataloged in the memo, so that'll be circulated to you all. So that you can see the results from the SWOT analysis for both exercises.
We had the opportunity to scenic byways, and that was all discussed too. And trying to make the community more aware of just the kinds of natural environmental resources that we have here in whatever ways we could best do that.
Absolutely.
And I think also was what general reuse and recycling and as a result.
All right. So I think we can move on then to new business items, A, which is our priorities discussion of SWOT analysis for the environment and natural resources and climate change resiliency.
So if you'll look over here, we have 3 boards. So we have an Environment and Natural Resources Board. We have a Climate Change and Resilience Board. And then we also have a base map over here. So these two, if you were here at the last meeting, you'll be very familiar with the setup of how this goes. Is basically each square has a prompt and you're gonna place a Post-it note with a strength, weakness, threat, or opportunity pertaining to that topic. And then what we have back here is the base map. If you look, you should all have red, yellow, and green sticky dots. So the green dots are gonna be anything that's a asset, so a natural resource, things that are working well for the community. Red is gonna be anything that is a threat, if it's something in a particular area, if there's somewhere that has, you know, really bad drainage or flooding issues, things like that, you can mark it with red. And yellow is gonna be opportunities, areas that we can focus efforts on for improvements. So that'll be the base map that's back there that you can put your sticky dot directly on.
Threat, so on the map, like where a threat is versus an opportunity.
So just to see spatially, you know, where things are going on.
I heard that comment.
No, well,
No, it's
just
good.
for us, for planning,
Right.
that map is really
There's
in
no,
detail.
A little mysterious.
there's no roads.
Well, it doesn't, we don't want the roads.
Yeah.
We wanted the water.
Okay.
So how long do we have?
We have 20 minutes or so
Yeah.
for this exercise. So we are all sticking our sticky notes on that map.
Those.
Yeah, so you can put your
For this-
sticky notes on this one and this one, and if you would like to write down like why you put your sticky dot that you put, you can do that as well. But we'll have a debrief discussion after and we'll talk about it.
But it's-
Do you have a question, Rosanna?
No, I was just confused.
Yeah, I'm not super clear
About-
where I'm.
So like,
supposed to anything.
but
Like,
like,
there's no, the
Right.
fact that there are no roads, I
But the
guess is good
green,
for some
yeah.
things, but it's
Yes.
bad for other things.
But-
Sure, and this was just
Where
Algae
things
and
are,
that.
yeah. so-
Right, you could put
I mean,
something at
it's
Clear
good
Lake,
for water.
like
just
right, but
anywhere
it's
in
a
the
park
really good for
that's like has.
Other things, so
Yeah.
just a little hard to figure out where to put the stuff.
Do we have sticky notes?
Yeah, I have sticky notes.
Okay.
So my-
Yeah.
I didn't bring mine.
It is
Or
right
the
there.
regular-
No, it's just because I haven't like unpacked anything.
Well, there's that.
Great.
Oh, I have pens. Yep, I have pens for you as well if you don't have
See
one.
her box.
I'm gonna do just a quick introduction too. So this is Nina, she's a high school student.
Hello,
She
Nina.
is gonna be kind of trying to tag along, as she works towards her civics. Readiness
Yeah, it's,
certificate from the state.
there's a capstone project, which is the highest point that you can do to get the seal of civic readiness, which involves like various classes in social sciences and stuff. So you can have basically greater civics knowledge, and I'm working to start my project soon. But
So we're gonna see if there's a project that stems from the comp plan. I know Caitlin has some other thoughts too from the town board standpoint, but she might be here and there, over the next couple of months for a meeting, so. If you'd like to join in and do this too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have a problem with that.
Great.
You want to speak? Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, great.
Is it time?
Up to you.
Oh, let's go.
Let's do it.
We're waiting for you.
Okay.
On the edge of our.
Ready, go.
Like somebody at the buffet. like-
Yeah, I know.
Gotta take it first.
That's right. Wait for them.
Not gonna take it.
How tiny you can write.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Usually, like, yeah.
I know.
These aren't just water.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I was
Right.
saying. It's very
Right,
hard
this is
to
in
decide
general natural resources.
how where to put it on the map.
I
in
know,
general.
I'm like. So Jacksonville Pond.
That's. Right here, that's it. Because this is the creek that goes in the front. We get the cost for the parking. That's there. We're in the front. I don't think we have to be geographically 100% accurate.
Repeats the same,
It's okay.
you want the same, you know what I mean, but everyone to just do their own or come up with new things that people have.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in agreement with something or, you know, someone, sometimes people write like me too, or they just write the same post-it note, that's okay.
Thank you. Basically.
No, you're done.
So that was like the base cap, because all the other ones were like much more. That would have been like.
What does yellow mean?
Yellow's opportunity.
Opportunity.
So, we'll be discussing it tonight, but we're gonna. Maybe like during winter. Yeah, it's gonna be not just winter, but I'm not sure how long do you think?
About like a month, and a half, I usually, it's a pretty fair time to go, so maybe like the January, I would say,
Yeah.
just because of the holidays. I know he's planning. Yeah, yeah, if you really make sense to it, it's like. I'm sorry, yeah, it's not. Forgot you have potential. Yeah, I think that's what we're peddlers, and I discussed that. So that's, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. And we're taking like a 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my thing, like, me just like, oh, what kind of switching things. Gotcha, I think that's the way.
If there's something already.
I think it's a good idea.
See how this is out there. Okay. It's actually-
I'm on 800, yes.
He's.
Oh, yeah, he goes.
I like-
Some sort of. What's used to wait.
Yeah, but it's to get rid of it, because the soils are either heavy clay or shallow
Yeah.
depth before you run into the bedrock, and it retains the water.
But it's not going down. It's only going down
Yeah.
18 to 21 inches.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot. When you plow it. It's got-
Well, I think they stay above the road, they're not supposed to necessarily, so,
They're gonna have good.
yeah.
I think if they're gonna do converters, they want to go deeper too, because the whole, you want deeper and so. That's what I understand.
But it's just interesting, because when they first started, it's just like when they brought in a whole truckload. And now they even brought in more, they just brought another batch in, so I don't know how much more he's doing.
Are they burying that young drainage stuff?
Yeah.
They just essentially feed down into like a big subsoiler and feed it down in as they're putting it in.
Yeah.
It's just-
Yeah, they have the machine that they're using just has a big plow on it, and it just. Quite a bit as it drives along.
They're rolls right back. in.
Oh, yeah. Started up stuff. They're doing, they did the, units and the fields next to it, and I think they do, well, it's a lower field field.
was trying to figure out where that,
And I think they're doing another local field also, so they just don't.
I didn't know if I put that in.
So it has to be 300 or 400 acres. she's doing.
It's putting on a lot more.
It's like, boy, who's gonna be here because it doesn't make you a lot of money. And so it's, you know, a lot. And-
Oh, no, it's okay, I appreciate that.
You usually.
I think it's kind of, you know, well, they're
What's
just
the
see
new-
like what the focus group is thinking versus what the, you know, state committee is thinking,
Yeah,
and, you know, versus.
you have to go up some of these processes.
So much.
What?
Does it like the track movement, is that what it is?
How I'm doing it.
Oh.
Just want to see how.
Angelina, is it possible to get an extra copy of that Ulysses base map?
Definitely, yeah.
Because for the planning board, that one there comes from the GIS data that includes all the intermittent streams that comes out of the Tompkins County mapping system.
Mhm.
And it's a good way to see the whole town in one shot.
Right.
To begin it, we've got questions in already to the town lawyer trying to decide how this gets addressed in relation to the current zoning or future. Do we include all those extra streams or not? Because it really is going to cause property usage issues, particularly along the lakefront, but not restricted to the lakefront. It shows up in other parts of the town.
Oh, yeah, so, well, if you look at that map, it's
Yeah,
pretty intense.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we can definitely, we're working on a whole bunch of maps, but we can definitely circulate
Anything
that
that
to
has
the
to do
committee.
with water, any streams or anything. we can use.
Sure,
Yeah.
no problem. Oh, I can, that's no problem. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It really helps to see talk in there. You know, some of them go, some of them go to 89.
Oh, yeah. Well, this way. at least it's,
Is that-
Well, let's put it this way,
No.
it's seasonal, right down. Season. you know, the ones that.
I'm like trying to visualize driving down.
I know, I know.
Right.
Right now, we just go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it has the land. Or, you know, it's split up into roads. And it's- it's more than water.
I mean, this is like.
We can always.
No, it's not a, no.
So I have that, like 8.5 by 11, I can send it to PDF, but would it help if I read one up for you guys,
The
like for
big,
next
the
meeting?
big one is much
You
better.
have one that have the roads and. the land.
Yeah, we can add that. I think it was just in a different map that had a lot more layers going on and it would have been a little.
If
busy
it
for
if
them,
it has
though.
roads and boundaries, it'd be really.
Okay, yeah, and then did you want like a big printout of it too, like a rolled copy, would that help?
Yeah, even the bigger size like back here. if
Like
you
an
have that
IP size?
capability.
Okay.
Yeah.
You must have the printer, so.
We have a plotter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could print that.
Because in behind there are some that I've created, but I said it as a fifth grade art project with all the little pieces and
Sure.
taped them back together.
Yeah.
This gets rid of, things don't match up because I kind of shifted, the size that I was copying. It's just,
Sure. Happy to help.
yes. Because when legal comes back, when we use it for discussion, this is. I expect it's probably gonna take.
They are.
January before we get an answer. Set up a client, client. Let us discuss.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've done that before.
Yeah.
Usually it's on Zoom. And it's pretty good.
Of course.
You can also use it as a training session for next year's. You
Yeah,
you guys
take
can
credit
use it as
for
a
it, yeah.
training session.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go to one next.
Wednesday.
I think I might already have all the hours, but I'm gonna go to that one.
It's a 3.5 or 3 hour session Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That paleontology thing.
Right,
Like the old
museum,
hospital.
yeah,
the
the museum of art, yeah.
Yeah.
Museum of history, so.
Yeah. But it's the DEC and the Clean Water Group and that are going over the changes to the. Trying to protect the lake and what they're planning to do. And I figured it would be worth going to hear straight up what the.
What their plans are, yeah, right, but
And
you don't
figure
wanna
out-
find out the last minute, that's.
Right,
Are we having 17th?
I don't think we need to, I would like to just cancel it. If
Oh, it's
possible.
right before.
We don't have any new applications. We've done it for the thing, but he's
Well,
still
we
working
can do
through
this, yeah, he's going.
Right, we said we would do that within 60 days, so I figured the January.
It's not-
meeting-
Oh, yeah,
They
it's
just
about
like-
April.
Like by next
Yeah,
week, because we're
right
gonna
now,
have
Okay.
a meeting with them.
All right.
Just like, they were like,
So I would like.
they
to
wanted
cancel
to
it
do
if
it in
possible.
April and then I.
Only 2 more minutes.
Think about. Yeah, everything in the school, like, we checked all this, things,
Yeah.
but then I didn't know. It's so I think some of it is Saturday. If it's like the morning, first afternoon, it's first like to have baseball. I don't know, or but anytime, whatever.
Yeah,
games
soccer
happen,
might be
I mean, I
starting.
don't really know how to follow it obviously anymore, but you guys do, so I thought if there is a particular thing that happens on Saturday mornings versus afternoons on Saturdays, that was all, but
And
it's
that's
not
not.
a very deal, I just
right?
thought I'd check with you guys know. Oh.
That was
No.
the only, I don't know what it is.
Well, you know what, no, because we were thinking about
Right.
that community celebration all of our things to the.
Yeah, that's my only thought.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot about that one.
But, I mean,
I should know, because I didn't know we could run it, but.
That happens.
Yeah, I
A lot
know.
of things.
No kidding. All right, well, we'll look at that one.
Yeah, and I can respond to the email. When I read it, that was the first thing
That
that
was
came
the
to my
only thing
head.
I was. I don't like you guys.
Yeah.
So on.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Just because they just sent a thing saying they wanted to have another quick touch base and our caps will come up next week, just, they're just trying to like get their long range filled out.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're gonna get busy.
But it's awesome. that they want
I think that'd be great to get the people
Oh, yeah.
some information.
And I'd like to try to get maybe, community science institute to also help with that, because they, I haven't brought it up to them yet, but they're the ones who would like do testing, brought them there too. And they also, according to their 2025 work plan, that was the last time I heard, I haven't read it, but it's out. They wanted to, one of the things they were gonna do was that kind of community, like outreach and, like, because when we had done the budget, they did it, and they would do it, that we would, use them, and then they said, well, yeah, we're gonna start this program. So, you know, with
The neighborhoods.
our like pilot. So I wanted to circle back with them on that too, because then I think that would be really good, then we'd have a lot of.
I think that
All
all
that
that
space.
space. Yeah, because people are good, the first question people are gonna say is, well, I didn't take advantage of the.
Or like, what I do, how much does it cost, you know, that kind of thing. So.
No, I think that. Be good.
Okay to move the chair where you can see the map.
Sure.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hi. That was fun. Hope it was a little bit different than last time. So, you know, for the sake of time, I certainly won't go like board by board, square by square, but does anyone want to share a strength that they either wrote down here or a strength that they identified on the board?
For natural resources.
Just in general.
I mean, I think it's. The area that we live in is known for the natural resources that we do have from the falls and the parks and so forth, so. I think that one kind of stands out.
And we see it spatially too on the map.
Yes.
So like right there, so.
Exactly. Teganic Falls and then now with Barton coming.
Yeah.
And I added smaller ones too that we have in this town, like Salem Habitat, Smith Woods, Jacksonville Park, all those.
Cuba Nature Center.
Cuba Nature
Yep.
Center, yeah. So. So we have quite a lot of outdoor, you know, recreational activities right in this town. They're really
Great,
really good.
absolutely.
You know, one thing for me that just kept coming into my head doing this exercise, and it's because I've traveled a lot the past couple of years to really dry places, is we have water. Water.
Lots of them.
Yeah. But that of course, that goes, you know, there's a downside, which then you have to protect the water. That's just- that's definitely an obvious asset.
Definitely. Any other strengths anyone wants to share?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say the fact that we have community composting, I think that's a real good step in the right direction. I mean, that requires the whole town to come together and work on that, so, you know, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Very
I
cool.
agree.
What about some challenges? What are some challenges that folks wrote down? Or weaknesses?
Tabs. I didn't write it.
Oh, I can go up and read them too.
Oh, yeah.
I just asked if anyone had like something that was like pertinent on their mind, that like this is a threat, we need to focus on this right now.
But I think HABs is big, just trying to better really understand where it comes from. There's all these theories, but trying to understand how it. Where it really stems from, how it spreads, because that starts impacting visitors coming to Teganic and they can't swim. People just using the waters recreationally, like outside of Teganic where they.
Yeah.
Are found.
Yeah, it looks like industrial development was also put down here, and just the impacts of that,
Mhm.
that can generate air, water pollution. overdevelopment, invasive plants, wildlife, that can affect ecosystems.
I put lack of a effective waste collection, like waste diversion system. And I also put it as an opportunity because there's a huge economic development opportunity. And even though like in this area, we've kind of delegated that responsibility to the county, the towns are members of the planning unit and should be involved in paying attention because the costs are going to go up, environmental and economic. And so I put that as a threat and an opportunity on the climate change side.
It is an opportunity also, because at least I
Huge.
know, like, well, for the reasons you say, plus just in pooling with other towns nearby, like Enfield, they had that. Little Enfield and Newfield and Ulysses worked together to have that little workshop seminar on waste, and so they're all really interested in that too, and we're all small, so if we can work together, we can potentially have a little area facility, or people are interested in their
Multiple
cafes, things like that. So there's just, I think there's a lot of opportunity because we've got engaged interest in our outside of our town, but with other municipalities too. That was really, it was pretty inspirational little meeting. It was small, but it was there's a lot of energy there.
And I'm looking at the map here, I see some yellow dots, which are opportunity dots, sort of around the perimeter of the town. Does anyone want to share what they?
I put those like just listening to the idea, the ideas that were from the focus group about raising awareness and education around what the strengths are in this, and the assets are that there could be, instead of just a little green sign that says Town of Ulysses, there could be something more welcoming and highlighting what the assets are at those. So I put them, I thought at what the kind of major arteries into the town were.
Yeah, the 5 main entrances to the town. We do have that signs that say we're a B city, even though it's a B town. But that's a national qualification that we met, and then we also have the right to farm signs now too, so there might be some opportunities to kind of. Maybe not add to, because we don't want sign pollution, but
Right.
there's definitely some opportunities to maybe
Right.
merge them or do something. Bring some more awareness, hold up to Gannett Falls,
Yeah.
that only comes in T-Berg and. Sorry, it does.
Yeah.
So for the strengths and opportunities on the climate change and resilience side, they're kind of together. I mean, I think there are opportunities because there's there's strong programming at cooperative extension and climate smart communities, clean energy communities to help municipalities, and our town is actually taking a lot of advantage of that already, and we're continuing to work on that, and so that's an opportunity because that can help us get funding for things like doing a climate resiliency plan and a flood mitigation plan. And then which are specific targets that they have that they can help with, or we can write grants to help get money in for.
Sure.
If we, meet these goals in climate smart communities, which we are. And the strengths are that we have a very engaged and interested citizenry, and also a lot of, in this community, people who have expertise in some of these areas that can really, that's a real strength for the town to tap into.
Absolutely. Because they're very
If they
proactive, I
so
will say
choose
that.
and want to, really do it. So I think that's a big strength. And it connects to that opportunity.
Well, this is wonderful. Thank you all so much for participating. So I'll be preparing meeting notes, so I'll catalog all of these responses so that you'll have them, and then I can also share the map as well. I know we'll put roads on it too. We have a couple different maps for our inventory and analysis, so we can get that circulated to you guys.
Sounds good. Oh. My cue. So we're done with the priorities discussion, right? 6A. So our next item under new business is the community survey. Are you gonna walk us through that?
Yeah, I sure
Thank
can.
you.
So basically, we have Roxanne brought up at the last meeting, it would be a great idea to do a community survey. And we were thinking of launching it at the Winterfest event that's gonna be happening this weekend. So basically, we have a survey that is gonna be available online, but also we can have print copies as well. So what you have here is a draft. A lot of the questions and concepts are similar to what was asked in the previous. I know I looked at the previous survey that was done and the results, so I wanted to tie in some of those concepts as well. It's just a little bit more concise because from experience, if you ask people more than like 20 questions, they don't respond. So usually like 10 to 15 questions, but still, you know,
Mhm.
having it that it's a mixture of multiple choice, checking off, people can give short answer or longer winded answers if they want to, they have the option, just providing a various ways for people to answer, that seems to work out better, that we get a better response rate, so, just wanted to run this by you guys, you know, as far as content, you know, are there other topics we wanted to ask about, or, you know, do we think some questions need to be moved around? The mixture of, demographic questions, and then, like I said, just content wise, looking at satisfaction, prioritization, questions of that nature.
Well, I mean, I have
Yeah.
several things to feedback, and I don't know if it's, you know, if we really want to launch it at the Winterfest, it's not really a lot of time, but I'll bring them up anyway. So for the first one, question 1, I was just wondering about why not combine the hamlets together and then have like the lake shore or something. That's how it was in the old one.
So have it so much out.
Yeah, and because I mean, both of those hamlets are tiny, and so I don't know
Well, I
if we
guess,
need to have them different.
I think Jacksonville makes sense to separate.
I do
because that's
too, just
kind of a
because
unique-
it actually has. like,
Okay,
a
well,
destination.
I still think adding,
But I
maybe
think
adding
Lake
in the
Shore.
Lake Shore,
That's
because
good.
that's
Yeah,
a,
Yeah.
sure.
you know, it's a distinctive part of the town,
Okay,
where people live, and it has its own issues and. So that was that one, on question, let's see. What was it? Okay. Or,
okay,
oh, I don't know why I have a question for.
the housing question?
Yeah, it wasn't that, I guess that my notes are, oh. No, I was wondering if we should, oh, that's your current situation, right? Yeah. No, well, someone else could go for a minute because I seem to have jumbled my notes, so let me get my.
Like, yeah, I
Let
asked
me
about
get my
current
comments
housing,
We'll come
together
back then.
without babbling on.
and then I also asked.
And then I'll be back.
I was gonna say, there's a question also that I think refers to just what type of future residential development you wanna see as well, so.
Right, that one, well, that one I do see, and I guess it's 7, I don't know, that would be to add senior housing, because from the old survey, that was like the highest, the second highest response. And so it would be interesting to see if that's retained, you know,
For sure.
going forward, so.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth between what we had before and what we have now, and what there seemed to be really big responses for. And I thought adding a question on, so there was type of, I thought it was, oh, the type of residential development that the town should focus on. And, maybe having another question on the type of commercial development and the
Okay.
location of it, because again, in the survey that we did last time, there were huge differences
Sure.
in the response to the different types of commercial development, and it seems like that's kind of a big, you know, thing on planning horizon.
You put it in the same question.
Or I think it might be a second, its own question.
So,
I could have it be like a checkbox and just have like various, you know, industries and people. to
Right,
check,
I mean, you
know.
could look at this, I mean, this one, you know, had
Sure.
some, in
That's
it.
a
I
reference.
thought it was pretty useful reference, yeah.
Sure, we can have that.
Just what the responses were, like if there's little ones that nobody checked, then maybe you could condense those.
We're just to gauge, like, is this still relevant? Are
Right,
people still
that,
thinking
that's
about
what
this?
that's what I'm trying to get at,
Sure.
how relevant, because there was big responses to that.
Sure, we can add that.
And let's see. Anybody else wants to say something, just jump in. over
Yeah,
me.
I had a couple additions. Number 6. Just thinking maybe you could squeeze one more in if you move the columns over and like made it, anyway, that's micromanaging, but how satisfied are you with waste recycling and materials management? Just
Well, it's part of sustainability, which is part of the goal of
Yeah, but it's-
bringing it into this. No, I mean, I think it's a good thing to add.
And I also would encourage maybe like how important is that specific issue? Because we find that, like, at least in the world we work in, people are really passionate about it. So I put materials management and then waste, recycling, reuse and repair in that. So I don't know if that's
So in
too,
question 8, you mean,
in-
and how important is it?
yeah, like in being explicit about.
Not
what-
how satisfied, because you
Yes.
said that first.
Well,
You mean how-
I wanted in both.
You want it in
Satisfied is
both.
the waste
Yes.
management.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, and then how.
and then
important
materials
is it?
management as a, so.
Right, yeah, the how satisfied versus those, there's a lot of overlap, I thought, in those
Right.
categories.
But while they're invisible, they're not small things.
Exactly, yeah.
No, but people are affected by it.
Yeah,
Their daily lives
and
are
and they
affected by
think
it.
about it.
Right.
Right, and for satisfied, or maybe important too. I wonder if you could just have how important is it to you, like in a wider thing with all of those, I don't know, but would be fire and fire protection, ambulance services, so emergency services,
Mhm.
that's not in there, and that's a big part of the town's budget.
I would do that as number 6. Under
Yeah,
6,
how
How
satisfied,
satisfied you are.
right, because that's a really big part of the budget,
Mm,
so it's good for the town to have input on that.
For
Mhm.
sure. Under 5, I know we call out to Gannick Falls State Park. We wanna
I think
mention the
so.
other parks too.
I think we
like
should.
do a broad,
Yeah, BDT and, I mean, especially because the BDT is so big. It's-
right? Black Diamond Trail.
Yeah. That was on my list too.
And oh no, it's right. Never mind.
I was thinking maybe. I didn't go back, I gotta go back to number 6 there, but 8, it doesn't look like we have a option for affordable housing or
Okay.
housing affordability.
Talking about 7.
Number 8.
How important are the following two?
Yeah, and then it's not in 6 either, so yeah, I don't know if we wanna put everything in both categories, like, are you satisfied with
Right.
the amount of affordable
Yeah, that's-
options in this town? Are we satisfied with what we have, or is that something that I think is important going forward? I
Right.
guess those two questions.
Wouldn't that be number 7 for the next 15 years?
Yeah,
That's about
that's
development.
that's what type of
Yeah, like
development, so that doesn't have anything to do with
Yeah.
affordability.
But just because you think it's very important, it's not listed here as that somebody would want.
Are you saying affordable housing should be listed?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Oh, in
Yeah.
number 7.
Mhm.
yeah.
As an
number
option,
7 should be-
okay.
Oh,
That's good.
So senior
Because
housing.
it is
and
check
I
all
mean,
the-
Well, it should
affordable,
be senior and affordable housing.
yeah, I mean, affordable is. Affordable means that people can afford it, doesn't, it's not like a type of housing, you know what I mean? It's just. That like any of these could be considered affordable or unaffordable, right?
Well-
So,
Single family home, that's not affordable if somebody's building a single family home. Affordable housing is usually done by the state or by the town.
no,
Well, that you're
Yeah.
using that, a specific definition. I think
yeah,
you're talking about, talking about something broader.
yeah.
Making it generally affordable to live.
It's, yeah, it's, I'm not talking about like public housing. I'm talking about that
Cost of.
any person wants to buy a home or rent a home and then it is at an affordable rate. That doesn't mean it's run by the state.
Mm.
So that could be any of these options.
Okay,
So, so your phrase housing affordability is better than affordable housing because it's
People
more clear.
misconstrue it
Yeah.
for sure, so
Yeah.
I think housing affordability is,
Mhm,
yeah.
could be more clear for people.
mhm.
Mhm. But,
So do we wanna put like
Yeah, that does
housing
not mean section
affordability
8.
under 8 maybe?
Yeah,
That
I
makes
think that's a
that
good
might be
idea.
appropriate.
yeah, I think so, and I think, I was thinking under 7 also, I don't know if we need to include co-ops with townhouses and condominiums, I mean, but co-ops are different. But an opportunity,
Mhm.
I think in particular with parcels and people sharing a piece of land. and,
that's
Yeah,
cluster housing.
it could be,
Yeah.
yeah, it could- or co-op, yeah, it's just share, like, land trust. sorts of things, co-ops, so that, might be a good addition there in 7. The only other, I have a really weird question, like, I feel like in number 3, we always stop at 55.
Well, we didn't last time. We stopped at 65 and over.
I mean, I'm not retiring at 55, so
Right.
I'm not sure, like, for me, 55 to 70 is gonna probably be a really different era of, I'm 54. So, 55 to 70 is probably gonna be really different than like
70 plus.
70 plus. So, and I don't know in terms of our purposes for this community survey, whether that matters, but I imagine my life and what I'm doing at 55 is gonna be probably pretty different than what I'm
We can,
70.
yeah, we can make that distinction, add a different category, so 55 to 70 and then 70 plus.
Yeah,
Cause we have a lot of folks in those populations, so.
and
Sure.
their needs and their preferences
Right.
and their priorities are gonna be different.
Exactly.
I think the overlap between how, I mean, it's a little bit redundant, but I think it's really important too, the overlap of how important versus
Yeah.
how satisfied are you? Because those are different
They
things.
are.
But I think that they're really both good things to try to get a handle on planning.
Yeah.
And so in number 5, how important, I noticed in the old survey, there was a category an item that was defined policies to guide growth, having defined policies
Okay.
to guide growth, and there was a big positive response to that, so. So I think maybe that's a good one to have, to see if people still think so,
Mhm.
and so,
I don't know how to word this or if this is an appropriate survey to add this to, but it does seem like that there are a lot of people interested in wanting to open a small business or have a small business opportunity that's the opposite of that large developer. Like, is there something that we can add? And again, this might not be the appropriate avenue of like, how important are the following to like opportunity to own your own business? There, it feels like there's a little bit of a lack of a business owner
You could put
perspective.
that-
in-
or maybe it could be in
Back to number
commercial
8.
and business
Like,
development.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, that-
How important are the following to you? You put down a number saying small business.
yeah,
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So 5 and 8. 5 is what we have already in the town of Ulysses,
Right.
and 8 is looking at the future. Is that kind of the difference between those two questions?
I think this was just more so focused on, the environment. Like 8 is more focused on the environment.
Okay.
Cause I didn't want, cause it was in the last survey and I thought it was
Mhm.
important just to kind of have that distinction, just to see what folks were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a way we need to like rework it or reword it,
But again, you were gonna add some things to important too, they do focus on the environment, but it goes back to. Yeah, it's what we have now in 5, but maybe we have some of this in 8, maybe we don't, but. If it's important, we should know whether we have it or not, so.
mhm.
For 8, actually, it relates to. I wonder if you wanted to add. Scenic beauty to the conservation and protection of open space, it could just be the same one, but that was also another one that was a. Really big response in it was like one of the highest categories, and conservation was its own other one, so. Or maybe it's just redundant, but maybe it just all goes together with that one.
So sorry, just to kind of like backtrack, do we think? Would we rather have 5 be longer and we can include what's in 8, or do we want it separate?
I think it's okay separate.
I think so.
I think maybe we can say how important are the following. I don't know, I'm not a wordsmith, but the following items to the. I don't know, the following natural resources or something.
Yeah.
What about number 8?
To me,
Yeah.
8 feels like in the future, and
Right.
5 feels like
Like how
right
do
now,
we-
here's what's here, and then
Yeah,
is
I
how
would
still
think
important.
reword
Like
it.
how important are these items to consider as we see, as the town changes over the next.
Right,
year?
actually.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, I think I just found in my messed up notes that you could add to that maybe when considering future growth. So how important are the following to you? Because that's what was in
Yeah.
the old
Sure.
one.
Or during
When
this comp
considering-
plan period,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
but that's what
like,
we're
yeah.
doing, when considering future
Yeah.
growth. So then to 8, does that sort of work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
I think that's great, just when considering future growth, I think that makes sense, because that's the
Right.
question
Good
I
edit.
pulled it from.
And then I had a couple on the water, one. So would you prefer to have public water? And maybe add another question. We do have a whole water survey, but it would be good to, this might go, we might get more feedback. That's good. We already have a water survey that we did. That's, we can give, the plan was to have the report be maybe an appendix to this, if that's what the board wanted, but at any rate, in that question was, are you willing to pay for public water? So that's that's part of
That's a
preferring to
big,
have it
yeah,
because it's
yeah.
very expensive. And so we actually had categories in the drinking, in the water survey. And I could give you those and you can incorporate it as categories, like how much, or you can just say yes or no, but
Sure.
like they were broken down into, from the lowest sort of reasonable amount it would be up to like the
right,
more typical one. So I think that that's important to figure out, or to have some input on if you're gonna ask about water, because people be like, sure, but you
right.
have to. think
If
about
it costs you an extra $100
Holistically, like
a
how
month.
much is it gonna? be?
Right, so if you want, I can send you that survey. You
Yeah,
can
that
see
would be
what we
great.
Did.
Sure.
All right, and let myself a note. And on 10, where it says, are you satisfied with the quality of your water? So we have a lot of questions on that survey about that, but under comments or question 10, because it might better compile with those and give us more information. When it says comments, maybe you could say, if not, please, if no, please explain the issues or something, just to
Sure.
get people to tell us
Yeah,
what
give
it
them
is
some
about their
examples
water
with.
that they don't like, because we do have that information from the other survey too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that was that.
I mean, I guess it's important to ask about the water, but even though we did that survey.
Yeah, if you, we might get more info. It's a big infrastructure consideration into the future
Yeah.
for the town. And
Yeah.
we got, I forgot what we had as a percent return rate. It was pretty good. It was
30?
almost 30,
I
yeah.
was gonna say around 30%.
I like the
Well,
idea of
we only
putting it
did
as
it-
an appendix to this.
The other thing is, this, you can even fill this out if you don't live in Tompkins County, but like that survey was only sent to people who live in the town outside
Yeah.
the village. So that was, the information is very focused on the town outside the
Yeah.
village. Because that's what the town board, would control in terms of
Yeah.
what we do, so.
Yeah.
And this is more broad, so I don't know quite how to handle that, but at least,
Yeah, I like the idea of putting it in the appendix. I'm just realizing we were supposed to spend 10 minutes on this and we're over that, so, I don't
Well,
wanna.
it's probably important though.
It is though, so I'm just letting everybody know where we're at, like, I just got.
I think these are great. I think, maybe, so do we wanna like hold off on the Winterfest launch then, or?
I just-
How do you guys feel about it?
So
I think Winterfest, we're gonna get people.
I agree.
Like, we're gonna get exposure to people that we won't have that opportunity for to have. So I am hesitant not to have this out there.
But what if?
Well, there's a lot of people that go to it.
There's a lot of.
And the
people-
weather that
definitely
goes,
are.
and I know it's not
Yeah.
everybody, and there's,
again
yes, and there,
focus away from my neighbor.
there are gonna be other opportunities, Chris, to be going to your neighborhood
Just
too.
mention.
Yeah,
I-
no, this is just a starting
Yes,
point,
yeah.
so it's a
It's gonna be everywhere.
starting point
You're gonna get sick of the survey.
at an event. There's benefits
But-
to having a starting point at an event.
I do think it's important to have it be thorough enough that, since we're gonna have it out there in other ways to have people see it
Yeah,
online and that we have it the way we want it, so.
Would you-
If it can't work that way, and maybe you can have it ready by then, I don't know, with all these comments, maybe we can just have a card or something saying we're doing it, it's gonna be here, have our website, that's your website, and
Yeah,
please keep an eye out for it or something like that. Just to, raise real awareness at the Winterfest without, if you can't get all these, because I think all these comments have been really. They've helped, they'll strengthen it and they'll strengthen the
Mhm.
information we get, and that really is the goal of it, so.
so are there any other I'm sorry, Niels, I'm wondering if there's any other comments on actually the content here, but go ahead.
I was gonna ask, how quickly would it be for you to turn around and amend the survey I mean,
I would say by Friday, like, if that's helpful.
with all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's great. And so, I have one other thing though, because you asked, should anything else be
Yeah.
added? On number 8, which is the how important to you, I thought about adding, climate change preparedness and hazard mitigation. Efforts. Because that says, it's in number 5 about how satisfied are you, but I don't think people have much idea if we even have anything right now. So
Yeah. Well, on emergency preparedness and.
Yeah. But particularly for climate, yeah,
Mhm.
so, that. I think. And so are we gonna have printed copies at the Winter Fest or
so the idea, yeah, there was gonna be printed, but also. I want to do, they're big flyers with a QR code that people can scan,
Good.
and do it just on their phone or tablet or.
And if people don't have time to do it there, they can take it home.
Right,
And then obviously we would keep these, like whatever's left over can be at the town.
right,
People will have access to it.
right.
This many sheets, nobody's gonna fill out. You're gonna have to make it into like the 1 page, 2 sides if you can. Because if
No,
you have
I
all
don't
these
think
sheets,
That's not.
well, I
think
wouldn't
so.
stand out there and fill this out.
Well,
If I
so
was doing it.
People
One
can take
thing-
it away. and
yeah,
send
one
it
thing
in.
I was gonna add is maybe you put somewhere where to take it, so people
Yeah.
could take it home with them and
Yeah.
then fill it out.
Yeah,
at
Drop it
home,
off
longer than
here.
this, yeah.
And then drop it off
Mhm.
here.
Well, see, that's the other thing. People are not gonna drive over just to drop this off.
It's to provide the most opportunities for the most people, I think.
Right.
But we can't just do a QR code because that leaves a whole section.
Well, I'm not
out.
saying QR code, I'm just
So-
saying, there's a lot of pages here, it should be shorter. Because people are not gonna stand outside to fill this out, and then they have the drop off points, are gonna have many, because people are not gonna drive into town to drop it off.
Well,
We can
just
put an
made
address
Turner.
too.
We
Yeah.
did on the flyer.
Yeah.
There's a contract.
We
So
made
that
it
there's an
longer,
address.
and I think, I don't think we should eliminate the stuff that we all just gave. it.
Yeah, I think we
So,
just put a bunch of time
I
into
feel like
creating
if
it.
people, we're giving people many opportunities
Yeah.
in many different ways. If they don't want to fill it out online and they don't want to fill it out in person and they don't want to drop it off, then what else can we do? You know?
Well, no,
I think
they
honing it
probably
down to
would.
almost no information, just so people might
Yeah,
fill
no,
it out
I
on the
think,
fly is not gonna serve the purpose, the highest purpose of what we're trying to find out here.
this can probably be consolidated a little bit also, so it's,
Oh,
you know,
smaller
not just two
format, yeah, yeah.
questions.
And this is just like printed it out from like Google Forms.
Right,
like,
yeah.
right.
How it comes out, cause it's just
Right.
the easiest. to
Right,
come out
so
with.
the hard copy could be a different.
But I don't think we're
format.
gonna be eliminating any of these questions.
Oh, no, I wouldn't eliminate them,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, trying to, the
Yeah,
format should be.
consolidate it a little
Right,
bit. make
because
it a
somebody's
little
not gonna go
shorter.
through all these
Yeah.
pages.
I mean, I don't know that it'll be like 1 page front and
Yeah.
back. It
That
might be like
would be too.
Two,
or
yeah,
three,
you can
like-
do with 2, but this many is, because people are not gonna stand there and do it.
Yeah,
Are
And-
we,
And taking it home also, it's a lot of pages for somebody to go through. So if it's less pages, they'll fill it out.
okay,
But I'm not
Um,
saying take away any of the questions, just.
so leave the questions, we'll try to consolidate as
We'll
best
try
we
to
can.
work some magic of
We'll
format. I'll
add-
try my best.
Yeah,
maybe
a place to.
like legal size or tabloid size paper? Gives you a little bit more space on a piece of paper.
That's true, we could do longer sheets of paper.
Are we also gonna have like a sign up sheet, like, so if somebody's not on our listserv, that this could then be emailed out to them, so that we are taking the action of emailing them in case they don't want to do a QR code? Okay,
Yeah, if there's I think if there's a QR code, a web link on the flyer that they can take. You know, directions on how to pick one up at the office or how to get one mailed to them.
Yeah.
I think that covers all the bases.
Okay.
Unless someone needs to have someone do it over the phone, but I don't know what we.
Well, I mean, if people really have a concern. I
Yeah.
mean, they can just call or email Niels, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be very many people,
Yeah.
and we can help
Find a
them.
way to help
Or one
them.
of us, I'll
Yeah.
help people if they want it.
Yeah.
If it's not too
If
many,
they need
you know,
help, I mean, we
I
can put
think
that
we
on the
can
flyer.
help
If you
people.
need help filling out the form,
Yeah,
email.
yeah, whatever,
down,
and
we'll-
if it
We'll
gets to
make
be
sure
a lot,
somebody.
we can figure out how to help,
Yeah.
yeah, it can't
will
be
help
that many.
people.
House calls.
Yeah, we got, all kinds of ways to talk to people now, so.
I mean, making,
Increases
making
accessibility.
as
it's
many
nice.
people as possible feel like they have an opportunity
Yeah.
in their preferred format or the best way they can handle it. It's
Yeah.
really, I think.
And then as far as how long to leave it open, we were thinking like mid-January. Do we think that's enough time?
Yeah.
Just with the holidays and everything
Yeah.
like that.
Do we have a meeting before then where we can see how we're doing if we need to leave it open for an
Yeah,
extra
and I
week or
have it,
something?
Google survey
maybe the
will
end of
populate it, so I can give you an update of like how many surveys we've gotten.
Yeah.
You know, kind of do like a brief print.
If we have 10, then
Yeah.
obviously we need to do something else.
Promote it.
Maybe, yeah, maybe the end, just because sometimes people don't like start focusing on the new year until the first
Yeah.
full week in
We could do that.
January, so maybe the
Yeah,
end
a
of
couple of days
January.
after New
It
Year's.
would be nice
Yeah.
to do a blast or social media
Oh,
or
yeah, right.
something early January.
Yeah, like, hey, we can put in the town newsletter and put it
Yeah.
on the social medias.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
And I
Until
can
like
help with
the
like
end
new
of January.
tags, flyers, whatever you guys need.
That'd be great.
One place that could be a good drop off would be the grocery store.
Yeah.
If we had a box that we can have, just people can drop it off there, because a lot of people are there.
Yeah.
And maybe even the sandwich shop, the drugstore,
Mm-hmm.
you know. It would be more
Library.
convenient, people who are.
Yeah.
out and about.
Okay.
We have the
I can
option
talk
to
to
fill
Sheriff
out
later.
the drinking water survey in, hard copy and send it. Very few people did it.
At the grocery store?
Everybody did it online.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
It-
It's nice to have the option.
it was working pretty well
Yeah.
online. We did have some people fill it
Yeah.
out hard copy.
Yeah, I think it's good to always provide
Oh,
different
I think we have to have.
opportunities.
some
Yeah.
hard copy. We chose not to mail it.
So we'll
because
do
it was
just the sure
expensive.
save, or you want to do sure save and library?
I think the library would do it and sure, so I think both would be two places.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on that content or distribution timeline? You're gonna get something to us by Friday?
Friday.
Wow.
We're cut out for you.
Thank you.
next 2
Thank
days.
you.
I was gonna like, I
Email
guess
that?
we know what you're doing.
Let us know. Okay, great.
Um,
And if it's the SharePoint, put a link. Those just open perfect, but when I go to try to look for it, it won't open. It's so
Yeah.
funny. It's just strange. It doesn't like my computer. Back and forth.
are we ready to move on from community survey? Okay. So then the next item is next steps. So this is our joint, the first, 7A is joint visioning session number 1.
Maybe
So-
before next steps, can we work out this January's meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll help town board members know.
And the town board wants to meet. I don't think it was kind of too quick, and we only had one meeting in November to talk through meeting in December.
I guess
But-
we don't want, we're doing Wednesdays, right? I guess we don't want to do the
Yeah.
first.
It sounded like they wanted
Well,
to
the
do it
eighth,
totally
I think,
separate, right?
the
Not as part of
second
the town.
Wednesday, I think,
Yeah,
in
no, we
January,
would do it separately.
potentially go back to the first Wednesday after that.
Do you want to do January 8th? Sorry, when was the town board meeting?
The town board meeting will be the 14th. 14th and
So
28th.
you want to do the 8th at 5:30?
Fine for me.
And the idea was,
Right, yeah.
that session would be probably about 45 minutes for help on
About an hour.
an hour. So an hour before then, before the actual comp plan meeting. So if the comp plan steering committee meets at 5:30, plan on meeting for the visioning exercise at 4:30.
Okay.
And that would be January 8th.
And that'll be here?
Yeah.
4:30 to 5:30?
4:30.
What's it?
4:30 to 5:30 would be the vision,
Visioning.
and then
session.
5:30 to 6:30 or 7 would be
Is
our
our-
actual meeting, so it's gonna be a long day. with
So bring
some
dinner.
snacks.
All your leftovers.
Well,
Um,
let me see.
Your leftover cookies.
Yeah,
And then,
birthday that-
do we want to pick our
Not mine.
February? I can't do the Wednesday. For February, that first week, I could do Tuesday or Thursday.
So you'll have a planning board meeting, right?
Right,
But
first two.
I don't have to be here, so if it's, if we want to do if we want to do Wednesday. If it works for you, Liz, you can.
I think as of now, I can be here.
What are we talking about? I'm sorry.
We're looking at February 5th.
February 5th.
Yeah, I have
Already on my
class that night. So do you want to go forward with February 5th? The next one, okay, I will not be there. I'll still put it on.
Sure.
Yeah,
The fourth is planning and fifth is. Yes.
yeah, unless you want to do it this second Wednesday. Oh, no, I can't do that again. Here, it wouldn't matter for me, I guess, but, okay,
So
So-
fifth.
just,
Fifth of
Sure.
February.
okay.
Remember?
Do we need
How
to keep
about
going?
March?
You want to pick March? I can do March 5th,
The fifth again.
first Wednesday.
Well, it's because it's the 28th in February. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
What did you say?
March
March
5th.
5th. Okay.
It's the first Wednesday of both February and March.
Yeah,
second
that's why I got
Wednesday.
convinced like 5,
Mhm.
the 5th both times, okay?
actually, I think we went through this once before because I have all these dates already in.
I was gonna say, I think Neil's one kind of just assumed.
Yeah.
that-
We're
I have
gonna
it
do
on my
them all.
calendar too.
Oh, okay. And I have on my
April was the
calendar.
second,
Yeah.
May was 7th,
And
and June was the 4th.
Yeah.
And then July was the 2nd again,
Oh, I don't know.
and then August was the 6th, so they're all in there.
They're just
Just
not
know
my,
January is an hour earlier too. It's an
Yeah.
hour longer. We'll start at 4:30.
okay,
Does that work
Um,
for you?
That works for us, yeah.
Okay.
okay. So that's the joint visioning session, right? And, okay. So B, review draft economic development, historic preservation, built environment and housing sections.
So we'll be circulating content probably like mid-December to you all, so we'll have the INA, the inventory and analysis. And the chapter for you guys to review.
Okay.
Good holiday reading.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
And the priorities discussion, that, so SWOT analysis also for that? Or is that separate? Sorry, so the three things in next steps, there was the draft of the economic development, historic preservation. And housing sections, and then there's the C is priorities discussion, that's a SWOT analysis.
Is that like maybe for the next meeting?
The capital facility.
The capital facilities.
Yeah, capital.
So we'll have that
utilities.
focus group 3 this month, and then we'll have that prior SWOT analysis at the next meeting. So,
Okay,
So focus group 3 is scheduled for this month.
yes.
Is it already scheduled? Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No.
I think we're going for the third.
I haven't gotten confirmation from the village yet, but we're planning on the 13th around noon time, like 12:30 again.
Fire hall again.
Fire hall.
And that list is, that's the one to contact people that was on focus group 3. That was on the capital facilities, utilities, transportation and parks.
so that's 12:30. On
the
December 13th, okay. All right,
Do you still need me? I mean, this is not quite filled out, but I think a lot of these are very specific groups that Mark might be able to help with, or. I mean, some of these are town departments, so we can fill in who that is, but do you need help filling this out?
I flushed out more and I'll fit it up on the SharePoint and put a
Okay.
link again.
I'm not sure how much I. can
Just
help
tell
with
us to
Kylie,
look
but-
here. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he gave me a pretty detailed list. I'm just waiting on the venue, because I don't wanna like send it out
Okay.
and then for whatever reason the venue wasn't there. So I think we have most of the contacts that we need though, based on that stakeholder list that is there.
That's fine. I didn't want to leave you hanging. and trying to
Appreciate you
figure this
guys,
out.
yes.
yeah. I think we also need to figure out who's gonna go to the Winterfest.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is anyone available?
Well, I can help set up and if I need to stay all the way through. 2:30, you gotta be there and setting up already because it closed the street at 2:30, I think.
The street closes at 2:30, so setup should be between 2 to 2:30.
Yeah.
The manifest goes from 3 to 6, but my experience last year is it kind of petered out after like say 5 o'clock.
Yeah, like I thought. Well, I'll try and be there also at 3.
Where are the materials that you need to get there?
I've got a bunch of stuff and there's a room just right over there, the conference room. There's a closet and there's a sign up sheet that has all the stuff there, so just pick everything.
I'll
Yeah.
try and get here.
You know, I've got a pickup so I can come by and just load it there. Where are we physically at? I don't know enough about the town to know where the old Napa place was.
You know when the
Right.
bank is? Tompkins?
You know, give me coffee is.
Yeah, Tompkins on the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's that building that's being
Oh,
redone
that's
right now.
being renovated on the
Yeah.
corner, the
That's
one with
Napa,
blank fronts.
Right.
Okay,
and we're on the left side of it, I think.
all right.
The good news is it's like one block, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're gonna be there also?
I will be out of town, probably out of country. So,
Oh, that's really hard.
So.
Really?
It's far out of town.
How do I access? the
Yeah, so
building
if
to get this stuff?
I could probably come for some, but not towards the later part because I
I'm out
have
of
to
town
be,
that day too.
How do I access?
I
the
have to
building?
be somewhere in the later afternoon,
I
but I
pick it
can
up
come
on
to the
Friday,
early part.
canvas it in my truck and.
I'm running
Why don't I
the
do that?
baseball
Pick it up
table,
Friday.
You're out.
so I'm gonna be running back and
Loaded
forth.
on right now.
I
As
don't
long as I
pick up
don't get
the-
called
oh,
in
yeah,
to work, I
Well,
can at
okay.
least help
And I
set
don't
up,
think I can
and
put
then
the
I need to
table
help
in
chase
there.
my children.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I my car.
So,
Yeah.
but we need somebody to take it down, it sounds like.
Yeah, so,
Right.
all right.
I can, I mean, I'm
I
gonna
can
be
help
there until
take
the
down
end, so.
too.
But
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't help
I'll
take down, but I
be
can be there in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Take down, I
I
could
think it's-
definitely.
That's my first
Yeah.
time.
All right, so it sounds like we have 2 people that can help set up, 2 people that can be there,
No, they're gonna set up.
and then 2
We
people
can
set,
be here.
take, break down. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna be there. So you
They're
guys are gonna
gonna
set
set
up
up.
at 2 o'clock,
Yeah,
At 2 o'clock or 2:30?
2:15.
well, we need to be done by 2:30 when they close the street, or is
Oh, okay.
somebody down there with the material.
Yeah,
So I
just
can
unload
ride
it,
the
right.
pickup back up
Yeah.
here. and
So you
park it.
guys will be there 2:15 to
Yeah.
set up,
Yeah.
and somebody will be here to help them get the supply.
I can,
Well, I figured what I'd do is come up Friday when the town hall is open
Okay,
and pick up the stuff and just put it in my pickup. I'll canvas it, protect it, and
And then I'll meet you down there.
just
at
meet me
like
down
2,
there
Okay.
like
2
2
o'clock.
o'clock.
thank you for,
And then I'll just park the pickup up here and as my granddaughter would say, you don't have any excuse to not be there, so.
that's right, there you go.
Matter of fact, that's where I'll park up in here and just walk down. and-
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys will
But
get
then-
everything Friday.
And then I'll
you'll
just bring the
it
pickup
Saturday.
down at the end of the event and just bring it back up, but I'll have to probably wait till Monday to turn it in, cause I don't have access to the building unless.
I have a key.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
So-
if you're here. when we're
Yeah, I mean,
finished-
I have a table
Okay,
for the baseball program, so I'm gonna be
Alright.
there the whole entire time anyways. so.
oh, okay, well then,
You don't look happy. about
then we
it.
can put it
It's
back in
just-
that
it's
room
fine.
here, but
I'll
I'll
be
pick
running
it up
back.
Friday, so we,
yeah.
go and I can set it up and then that'll work.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll set up an email link just.
Yeah.
Before for 5 of us.
Okay.
And I do think there's a couple high school students. I mean, if Nina, if you're available, that would be great for you to come to. I think there's some other, Rachel Kennedy was working with a couple students too,
Okay,
so,
I know we had a couple in the spring there that
yes,
were there too.
yeah.
So Niels, are you gonna be here on Friday? Are you gonna print the, how,
I have everything already printed. The only thing I
No,
have
the
hard copies
survey's
is the
gonna be
survey,
new.
but I can
Yeah.
ask maybe Carissa.
uh-huh,
to give those.
that's just a link that needs to be made there, yeah.
okay. All right, well,
That's good.
there's that. Just, anything else on that? Does anyone have a member report?
Well, just to follow on with the map over there, I put one red dot up along the lakefront. Because that map showing all the streams comes from the GIS data. Which essentially almost doubles the number of streams in the town that are covered in our current zoning. That use the USGS streams. Particularly the lakefront goes from 13 intermittent streams to 50 in the same 7 miles of lakefront. But there's other chunks of the town, like out on the west side out there. There's a small creek out there in about a mile stretch, goes from 2 intermittent streams to 10. But interestingly, the DEC has a third level map of this that's kind of a hybrid between the two. Looks like the USGS along the lakefront, but out in a lot of the rest of the town out there, looks much more like the GIS stuff. So the planning board put together a series of questions to go to town legal to try and get resolution for how do we handle this. So we submitted those questions about 2 weeks ago. We expect it'll probably take till January before we get a response from town legal. And then particularly for the planning board, and I would think we would include at least the BZA if they want to join us in a attorney-client privilege session first, so that we can freely ask questions and try and, because the other half that the town board assigned to us out of this was that we need to come back to the town board with a recommendation of what to do. Because we see it coming up on property issues all the time. And adding all those streams, some of them only go as far as 89, and it's going to drive problems with some of the lakefront properties. There are a few down there that are going to have streams on both north and south boundaries. And if you do a 50 to 75 foot setback, on one side, it's tough enough to deal with, and if you put it on both sides, you're often down to negative ground to work on within the lot, so.
Give them a yard or two. Buildings.
Well, mine is one of those that goes down to 87 feet at the top of the steep slope. And with a 15-foot setback on one side, 75 foot on the other side, I'm minus a few feet.
Just
Yes.
a question, I thought that there was a map that Tompkins County
That's the
produced,
GIS.
Yeah, there's one also.
that I thought the town board at some point adopted that
Well,
as the
it's
official
a
map.
2012 wetlands map.
Right,
That map does include all those GIS streams,
uh-huh,
but there, if you look at the legend at the bottom, and it was adopted as a wetlands map. The
Okay.
wetlands are either circled in yellow, blue, or red for the federal, state, and
so that's what the
local.
town uses for the wetlands map, but not the stream
Right,
map.
and
is
the
what you're saying.
wetlands are changing the first of the year. DEC changed the
Right.
rules on that you have to go to them for determination of what are wetlands of
It's not just map
significance. and-
anymore.
Right,
Okay. Right,
so anyway, that's just to kind of help bring everybody up on this.
yeah, thanks, interesting,
Yeah, thank you for that.
important.
Any other member reports? Just see the baseball table also, I guess.
Yeah, the town board hasn't met. We met in November, but it feels like forever since we actually met. We're meeting next week though.
Okay,
Budget was passed. We received bids for the parking lot today, so hopefully we'll be able to move forward with the parking lot renovation. That's much needed.
yeah.
Add some lighting and fix the potholes that are out there.
On a sustainability note, actually, we got just recently notified that we're very likely gonna get, we just have to submit a detailed plan, $100,000 grant from NYSERDA to install more solar, so that will offset more of the municipal electric use and lower costs far into the future for municipal operations. So it's a no match grant, so it's $100,000 coming into the town, so
Great. Yeah.
based on our clean energy communities program participation.
Sweet.
That was a great one. So thanks for
Yeah.
Roxanne for her hard work on
Yeah, thanks for that.
getting that up.
It's part of our clean energy communities, climate smart communities package work that we're doing to make us qualify for other fundings, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyone
Should I
else?
make a motion?
Do it.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Great. All in
Exactly
favor?
7 o'clock.
All right,
Good job,
check
man.
us out.
Is this- you got 1 minute to spare.